Okay, guys, so just as a review from the assignment you guys did on Friday, so you know where you may have gone wrong or where you nailed it. So, 5 number summary, this is what you make a box and whisker plot out of. So, box and whiskers you did in middle school, and you worked on those today as well. But just so you can see a correlation as to what you're doing. So, your minimum is going to be your far end of your left whisker. Your maximum is going to be the far end of your right whisker. Your median will be the line in the middle of your box, no matter what the proportions look like. Your Q1 or the lower quartile line is going to be the left side of the box. And then your Q3 or upper quartile will be the right side of the box. Now, looking from your list of data, so your minimum, you want to make sure it's always in order from least to greatest. So from least to greatest. And don't mind my handwriting. Sorry, guys, never done this. My projector is broken. We had it printed and everything. So this is to get us through today. So from least to greatest, so smallest to largest. In this case, they are in order from smallest to largest. If you don't have it on a piece of paper, I do recommend writing it down though, because it's easy to make simple mistakes when you do this by hand. Now, minimum is going to be 1. Our maximum is going to be 15. Our middle number, we're just going to count in. So 1, 1, 3, 12, 5, 10, 7, 9, and then our middle number is going to be 7. So that's our median. Now we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 items, which is an odd number, which means we should have a middle number. Okay, so odd number means there should be a middle number. We'll get to what happens if it is an even number. Now, that is splitting our data into 2 equal parts. So this is going to be our lower quartile. This is our upper quartile. So your Q1 and your Q3, remember another name for median is Q2. Q2 is your median of the entire data. Q1 is the median of the lower half of the data, which would be these numbers. So 1, 3, 5, and 7. We did not include our median because it's doing a job. It's the lower quartile. And we're going to look for the middle number of that. And your upper quartile is going to be from that 9 to 15. So 9, 10, 12, and 15. And so Q3 is the median of that upper quartile. So if we're looking for the median of the lower quartile, again, we're going to count into the middle. So 1, 7, we got 2 numbers. We're going to add those together and then divide by 2. So 3 plus 5 is going to give me 8, and divide by that by 2, we get 4. And that's the number that falls between that 3 and 5. So 4. Do the same thing for the upper quartile. So 9, 15. Again, we came in with a even number. So we're going to add those 2 together and divide by 2. So 22 divided by 2 is going to give us 11. 11 is the number in the middle of 10 and 12 as well. So again, on a box and whisker, the reason this gets weird for your month or Tuesday's lesson is that it's not proportionate. But again, we cut one thing in half. So then we cut this half as 50%, this half is 50%. Then we took the upper 50% and we cut it in half again. And that's why from Q3 to max is 25% of your data. From median to Q3 is 25% of your data, because from median to max is 50, as we just saw here. And then that's why each one of these jumps, these important data points, divide the entire list of data into each 25% chunks. So 4 25% chunks per all data. So I'm using our lesson from Friday to tie it in to now. Okay. All right, complete a 5-number summary for the following data. Don't forget to list the data from least to greatest. So this kind we're going to follow. Now, if I were you, I would take your smallest number, mark it out. Also, I'd figure out how many total I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 total. So that means I got to make sure I have 8 total when I transcribe them down. I see a 3. I see another 3. Then I see a 4. And then a 6. Another 6, an 8, and then a 9. Now we can do like exactly what we did the last time. First things first, we're going to count into the middle. So I'm going to go here to here, in. So we have an even number of data, which means we're going to add that 4 and 6 and get 10. Divide it by 2, which give us 5 as our median. Our minimum is a 2 and our maximum is a 9. Those two you should get right every time. As long as you can put that data in order, you should be able to get that every time. Okay? And if that's all you get, that's still 2 out of 5 answers. Put it down. Every small step forward, if it's still not something that's super easy to you, is still a step forward. So that means our median is going to be right here as a 5. So then working for our median of the lower quartile, so working down this way, median's 5, so we're not going to count him. He's not in the lower quartile. That's where I have my 2, and that 3 is a terrible looking 3 now that I'm looking at it. Sorry, guys. 2, 3, 3, 4 is my lower quartile. I'm going to work, and then my upper quartile is going to be 6, 6, 8, 9. And that's where we're going to find our Q3 in the upper. Q1 is in our lower. So we're going to count in again. Hope I changed colors. Nope. So we have 3 and a 3. That's going to give us 6. So in the middle, divided by 2, that's going to give us 3. 6 divided by 2 gives us 3. So that's our Q1. Because again, we split it into 50% this way, 50% this way. Then we took our 50% and we divided it into 25% each. Upper quartile, we're looking for Q3. So we're going to cross out. We end up in the middle of 6 and 8. If we add those together, we get 14 divided by 2, gives us a 7. And that's right in the middle. So again, that's our 25%, 25% of data. All right, so again, complete the 5-number summary. We're going to put them in order. So I have a 9, looks like it's my smallest, 13, 14, 16, 18, 19, and 20. Always has to be in order. That is going to be one of the places they come for you. Likelihood on an EOC for this question to be there, since this is not a new concept to Math 1, is they will not put it in order for you. So I would go ahead in your brain every time, step 1, put in order, no matter what. Okay, the next thing I would do is do the things you know and that you find the easiest. So minimum is going to be 9. Maximum is going to be 20. Those should be gimmies. 2 out of 5 answers every stinking time. Don't miss those. Okay, so now we're going to count into the median. So 9, 20, 13, 19, 14, 18, 16 is our median. It's the middle number. That just split it into 50% and 50%. So we're going to go grab our lower quartile. Does not include the median. And then our upper quartile does not include the median. So lower was 9, 13, 14. We're going to count into the middle to get our Q1. That's our 13. Then we have that 18, 19, 20. Count into the middle. That's our Q3, 19. So one more time for those in the back. 50% of your data above the median, 50% of your data below the median. Q3 and Q1 are the medians of that upper 50% is Q3, and the median of the lower 50% is Q1. So that's how that 25 across the board for each portion, whether it looks like it or not, that's where that comes into play. These again, this set is in order. Beautiful. So we're going to count. Our minimum is 22. Our maximum is 35. In this case, we don't need that. We're just getting the goods. So then our median is 26, which is also our Q2. We're going to take our lower quartile, add them together, divide by 2, which should give us 47. So divide 47 by 2 should give us 23.5. And on this assignment, you were dragging them from the bottom up. Q3, we're going to go from, don't count your median. So what is in between 29 and 35? So 29 plus 35 should give us 64. Divide by 2 is going to give us 32. I'm going to switch colors just so they don't all run together. I'm a color fan. All right, so minimum is 10. They are in order. Beautiful. Our maximum is going to be 22. So our middle term is going to be between 13 and 15, which is going to be 14. When we add them together, divide by 2. So then our upper quartile are these 3, and our lower quartile are these 3. So our Q3 is going to be 19 because that's the middle of 15, 19, and 22. Our Q1 is going to be 12 because it's the middle of 10, 12, and 13. That one's done. Our next one, we have 5. So 12, 23, 24, 32, 33. Perfect in order. Our middle number in this case is going to be 24 because it is that odd number of terms. So we're going to take, don't count it, it's the numbers above it, 32 and 33. That means in between those is going to be 32 and a half. Some of us are going to know that between 32 and 33 is 32 and a half. But again, the math way to get it would be add them, divide by 2. 12 plus 23 is going to give me 35, which is going to give me 17.5 as my middle number. So I added those together, divided by 2. Coming on over here to the next one. I'm going to circle up to the top. 12, 14, 17. Those all look good in order as well. Again, I know it seems repetitive, but always check. So I have 7 numbers. I know I have 3 at the top, 3 at the bottom. There's my median or my Q2. Same thing, median Q2. Q3 is of the upper quartile, middle number, gives me 24. Q1 is the median of the lower quartile, middle number, so that's going to be 14. Beautiful. Moving right along. Hopefully you're starting to see the pattern if you didn't on Friday. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 terms. That means they're even. So I can count down 4. It's going to be my upper quartile, lower quartile. And the number, if I add 4 and 4 together, I get 8. Divide by 2. So that Q2 is going to be 4. The middle number of these upper is going to be between 9 and 10, which is going to be 9.5 because I counted in and I have an even number. These guys we're going to count in and we have an even number again. So between 1 and 3 is going to be a 2. Last but not least, we have 18. Yep, looks good. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 again. So that means upper 4, lower 4. Q2 is between 27 and 31. If you add those together, you get 58, which is going to give me 29 when I divide that by 2. That's my Q2. Then I need the middle number. Q3 is the median of the upper quartile. So these 4, if I cross them in, I'm in between 34 and 40. Add them together, and you get 74. Divide those by 2. You should get 36. That's not right. 37. Why do I still feel that? That's not right. I was doing it in my head until now, guys. So if I made a mistake, don't shoot me. Like I said, doing it in my head. But hopefully we got it right. I'm looking for that calculator. My calculator is dead, so I have to pull out my phone. 34 plus 40. 74 divided by 2 is 37. I did have it right. Yay. 37. Then we're going to go between 20 and 25. Add those two guys together. Divide by 2. You should have 22.5. And hopefully that makes sense as far as you're seeing the pattern. The last question is, how is it possible for Q1, Q2, and Q3 to all be numbers that are not listed in the data set? Give an example. So to get your Q2 to not be in the data set, remember that means there was like 6 terms. So we can go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to actually do 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I'll show you why it has to be 8. 6 won't work. So I have an even number of terms. That means my Q2 would fall in between 4 and 5. So not an actual number in my list, 4.5. Now, that's because there was an even number of terms. The problem if I had 6 terms is then I would have an odd number on either side of the median. So my upper quartile would be an odd number, which means I would count in and have a number in the middle. So the upper half has to be even as well to repeat the same process and for it to work out the same way. So if I cross those off, then I end up in between these guys. Again, not a number in the list. And then same for our lower quartile. Middle of 2 and 3 is 2.5. Again, not a number in the list. So an even number of total terms that is going to give you an even number of terms in your upper quartile and your lower quartile. That's how those numbers don't exist in our answer, like our list of terms, but they are the correct Q1, Q2, and Q3. And Q2 again is the same thing as median. So again, one more call out to our vocabulary. We have minimum, we have maximum, medians in the middle, which is also a Q2. Q3 is the median of the upper quartile, which is a new set of words, I believe, for you guys in Math 1. Upper quartile, I don't think they use that in middle school. And then our lower quartile, and that's Quartile. because I'm not doing great writing on our screen here. Quartile, so lower quartile, and that's an LOWER, contrary to what it looks like. That's going to be our Q1. Q1 is the median of the lower quartile. So in this case, it was 2.5. Guys, hopefully that irons out any misconceptions. As always, reach out if you need me. I'm sure you did an amazing job.